one of the conversations I'm having a lot lately with my patients is how to keep the immune system super healthy by keeping the gut healthy. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that momentarily, a couple easy tips that we can use every day to do that. But first I want to talk about what is this thing between the gut and the immune system? What do they have to do with each other? Well, the answer is everything, really. So there's two big buckets that this discussion falls into. I'm going to sort of briefly talk about them so that you understand why you want to keep your gut healthy. So first bucket is the structural aspect of the gut. About 80% of our immune system resides there in what's called the gut-associated lymphoid tissue, or the GALT. So it's very important. I mean, when we talk about the immune system, we're really talking about the gut and the tissue there. And the other aspect of the gut is that it actually helps to secrete pathogens. So when a virus or a bacteria enters the body, it does so oftentimes through the mouth or the eyes, and it's going to be kind of eliminated through your digestive system ultimately. So the digestive system acts as a barrier and a pathway of excretion for all of these pathogens that we don't want to take up residence in our body. So from a structural component, that's what we're talking about. Now, the other bucket we're talking about is the bacterial aspect. So when we talk about the microbiome, which many of you know about, the microbiome are these millions of bacteria that reside in the gut and carry out all kinds of functions and tasks. And one big one is to crowd out bacteria and pathogens that your body doesn't want to have there, what we call dysbiotic bacteria, viruses, and so forth. So super important from that component. So what can we do to support these two aspects, the structural and the bacterial? So structurally, we can support the gut lining to prevent it from becoming permeable, or to prevent what's called leaky gut. So a couple of things in that regard. One is to keep your vitamin D level optimal. Vitamin D important for a lot of other reasons, we're hearing about, as far as helping to our immune systems to stave off viruses and so forth. But from a gut perspective, vitamin D helps to optimize what are called the tight junctions. They're these proteins that keep the gut lining intact. So the better your vitamin D, the more functional your tight junctions, and therefore structural integrity of the gut. So taking a vitamin D, I'll share with you one that I take. This is a vitamin D3 by Pure. I have no association with these companies. I'm just sharing with you what I like to use, what I recommend for some of my patients. So vitamin D, important. Getting outside, getting natural vitamin D from the sun, also important. And checking your vitamin D level and keeping that right at a nice steady state at a high level. So vitamin D important. Collagen peptides also. This is one that I use a lot, the Great Lakes collagen peptides. Collagen peptides provide what are called amino acids that help fuel the colonocytes, which are going to help to perpetuate and rebuild the lining of the gut. And I should say that both of these things you can use with kids. So my daughter takes both of these, not every day, but a lot of days. She's 20 months old. So it's important for both adults and kids to focus on this. Thirdly, a probiotic. So probiotics are obviously important. You want to look for a good broad spectrum probiotic. When we talk about a healthy microbiome, we're talking about two things: abundance, how much bacteria is there, and diversity, which is all different kinds of bacteria that you want there. So good broad spectrum is a way to go. I use Claire. I like them. This is a great probiotic. This is the women's formula. The Therabiotic is a great one as well to start with, for anybody, men and women. And their infant one, this is one that I throw in my daughter's smoothie every day. Really important for kids. Really, really, really important for kids to be on a probiotic to generate their microbiome moving forward. And then lastly, diet. So we want to focus on high fiber foods, good nutrient dense real foods, vegetables, fruits, good proteins, nuts and seeds, grains if you eat them, not only for the nutrition in them, but because of their high fiber. So the gut microbiome flourish on fiber. That's their fuel. So if you're skimping on fiber, your microbiome is going to diminish, and therefore your immunity is going to diminish. So those are some tips. Hope they're helpful, and we'll check back with you soon on that.